an example how to deal with our enemies. If you're born again, it's really not difficult for you to know who you're dealing with.
That's right.
There's some mad people in the world.
Yes, sir.
And they're really not mad with you, but they're mad with themselves because sometimes people have wasted their lives away.
Oh, Lord.
They've been looking for happiness in alcohol and drugs. And yet, after doing all of that, they discover that I'm still not happy, that there's a void in my life.
Well.
Jesus set an example for us. Read on.
Who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth.
B. Jesus did no sin.
That's right.
Jesus did no sin. They hated Jesus. On the board, they hated Jesus because of his kindness,
Yes, sir.
his compassion, his love, and just for doing good. People will hate you
Yes, sir.
because you do good.
That's right.
People will hate you because you keep your yard clean. People will hate you if you keep your children in church. And they don't mind telling you. It don't take all of that. But all you got to do is look at what their children are sending them through.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's right.
And what else it say?
Who, when he was reviled not again. When he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself.
See, he didn't threaten and say, I'm going to get you.
Right.
Pastor.
No. See, we like to get people for doing us wrong.
Yeah.
But really, when people do you wrong, if you handle it right,
Yes.
they will bless you.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
And sometimes we ought to send our enemies a thank you note. If you handle it right,
Yes, sir.
is that right?
No, you're right.
What else he said?
But committed himself to him that judgeth righteously, who his own self bare our sins in his own body on the tree.
Right on the board that Jesus never hated anyone.
Yeah.
He never hated anyone. You can't go through life hateful.
I hear you.
Number 3, Jesus was kind to his enemies. He was kind to his enemies. See, you got to pray for your enemies.
Yes, sir.
So they go to Luke 15, verse 1 and 2. He said that as a matter of fact, one of the things that created enemies for Jesus was his kindness that he showed to those whom was unsaved. All right, read.
Then drew near unto him all the publicans and sinners for to hear him. And the Pharisees and scribes murmured, saying,
Now you know who the Pharisees? The Pharisees were the people who felt that they were the only one that was right.
Amen.
The only one that was right. They were the only one that said, if I don't do the job, then the job won't get done. But God got somebody way in Mississippi
Yes, sir.
and Alabama and Arkansas that can do a better job than you and I
Amen.
can do. Do you not know it's an honor, it's a privilege to serve anywhere on God's program? Ain't no little job. Sweeping the floor is a big job. Is that right?
That's right.
Whatever you do for the building of God's kingdom, it's a blessing.
That's right.
The other thing right on the board, Jesus was forgiving. You got to know how to forgive people.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
See. Go to Romans 5, verse 6 and 8. Got to know how to forgive people. Because listen, when you hated people, they'll hold you hostage.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, people are shrewd and people are mean and evil. They'll tell a lie on you and go on about, and you all upset, and they go on and have their fun.
That's right.
See, all right, Romans 5, verse 6 and 8.
For when we were yet without strength, in due time time, Christ died for the ungodly. But God commended his love toward us, in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us.
While we were yet sinners,
Yes, sir.
Christ died for us.
Died for me. Yes, sir.
We need Jesus
Yes, I do.
more than ever before.
That's right.
And you may raise that. We need Jesus more than ever before.
Yes, sir.
And I tell you what, when this COVID-19 finished, some people won't come back to church.
I hear you, Pastor.
Some people will be ashamed to come back and go somewhere else.
All right.
You're ashamed. That's right.
When I could have been.
Yeah.
Is that right? I told you, I talked to a person this morning and said that Joel Osteen was her pastor.
Lord have mercy.
I want to tell her when you die, get Joel Osteen.
Yeah, call him. Call him up.
That's right. Get sick.
Yeah.
That's right. When you're not in the book, you can't talk with good sense. I mean, what you're saying sounds good. If God done allowed you to work 6 days a week or 5 days a week, use his energy, use his strength, and you can give him some hours on Sunday morning to come to hear his word, to be a witness about his goodness. The church is like a service station where you come in on Wednesday night to be refueled so you can go back in this evil world. Sunday you come to church or Sunday school so that you can get the word, look, so that you can go back and deal with the head that's on your job. And some of us got head right in our house.
Right. Oh,
You got to pray hard. Lord, help me to deal with this head.
Pastor, and I wish you say help me, Lord, to deal with him. Help me.
See, everybody holler, Lord, Lord.
Right.
Hallelujah. Is not born again. Don't have a relationship with God. You got to have a relationship with Him. To know Him
Yes, sir.
is not enough.
That's right.
You got to have a relationship
That's right.
with God. Listen, make sure you have a meaningful relationship.
Oh, Pastor, thank you for the teaching.
You don't want to date 10 years and don't want to find out what's on your mind.
Now, I know you're right.
Palm pressing.
Pastor, thank you.
You're almost ready for the grave. You talking about dating somebody. You better find out what's on their mind. What do you have on your mind?
Right, Pastor. Now, conversation is cheap. I know
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Jesus forbade revenge. Read Romans 12 and 21. Romans 12 and 21. See, vengeance belongs to the Lord. While you trying to fight your enemy, if you just turn them over into God's hand, He'll take care of them. All right?
Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil.
Listen what he
with
said.
good.
Be not overcome with what? Evil. But overcome with what?
Overcome evil with good.
But overcome evil by doing good.
Yes, sir.
See, my prayer is for Mr. Biden as he debate our president this coming week
Yeah, overcome it with good.
is that he won't allow Mr. Trump
That's right. Drag him down.
to drag him down to his level.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And see, some people you just got to listen to. Cause and you know, that's why the girl said the other day when they was on the show, and they said, I'm not finished. Really let me finish my question.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to hear what's and sometimes people don't have sense enough to hear what you got to say.
Say.
Right, they do a lot of talking. You right.
And he's one of them.
That's right.
Is that right? And read it again, vengeance.
Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good.
See, listen to this. Saul, as they were stoning Stephen, Saul didn't throw no brick. He didn't throw no rock. But Saul was watching the coach as they laid it down at his feet. That made him guilty.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
In other words, Saul was saying in so many words, it's all right what y'all do.
Right, Pastor, that's right.
And sometimes a leader can insinuate and cause a lot of arguing and fighting.
That's right.
And that's what we have now. Is that he says some things. When he says knock the devil out of him and all of this guy. What is that for a leader, a president to say? Is that right? You're leading people and you need to be trying to tell people, be kind, be gentle, be loving. All right? The next thing that I want you, sometimes local churches are the battlefield for wounded pride. One man is committed to opposing everything. See, that's why you got to be careful having meetings and let people just discuss and debate. The Lord done gave you a plan for the church, and He has laid the plan down for. And you asking a person that don't even come to prayer meeting what you think about it. He don't think nothing about it. He ain't giving nothing. And every time you come up with something, he opposes everything. And somebody else in there will join in with it. Listen, as I close quickly, erase that. Had a good lesson this morning. Joseph faced his brother. Joseph faced his brothers.
Yeah.
Those who had hurt him. Thank you for the thing. See, listen, you got to be careful as you go up the ladder of success. You got to be careful what you do and what you say. It takes a long time to get up,
That's right.
but it doesn't take long for you to come down. And the people that you thought you had gotten away with, the Lord just may let you linger there long enough to look them face to face. Listen. These were not strangers, these were familiar people that sold Joseph. Verse 1 in 45. Read today. 45, verse 1 and 3. Joseph's brothers.
Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him. And he cried, because every man to go out.
Listen, you have not been hurt until somebody hurt you in your own family.
That's right, shepherd.
Shall we read what is it, Psalm 41 and verse 7?
Now,
Your own familiar friends. Hey, it was Jesus' disciples that forsook him and fled when he needed them the most. And then it was Joseph's brothers that sold him into slavery. All right, Charmaine?
Psalms 41
And 7.
and 7. All that hate me whisper together against me. Against me do they devise my hurt. And evil disease say
Listen, you ain't got no friends here. If you make some friend, if you make one friend in a lifetime, you're doing good.
That's right.
All you got is acquaintance and associate.
That's right.
A friend will stick closer than the brother.
That's right.
That's what Jesus said. Is that right? But since Jesus is our elder brother, he'll fight for us when other folks do us wrong.
That's right.
your elder brother with you wherever you go.
Yeah.
You may not need him now, but you're going to need him up the road.
Yeah.
Watch what he said. My own, what?
And even to see, say they cleave fast unto him, and now that he lieth, he shall rise up no more. Yea, my own familiar friend, in whom I trusted, which did eat of my
You got to be careful who you trust.
That's right. My
He
trusted,
said, my own familiar friend that I trusted,
which did eat of my bread.
ate up the bread, slept in his house, spent his money.
That's right.
Watch what he says, have raised.
Lifted up his head against me.
He lifted up his head. How you going to forget somebody that's been good to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How you going to have time for everybody else but the person
Lord have mercy.
that woke you up this morning?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you going to forget somebody that woke you up, and not only that, but clothes you in your right mind?
Yeah, how, Master?
Didn't have to do it.
And he didn't have to do it.
Did. Thank you, Lord.
All that he went through was for you and me.
Yes, sir.
That's right. And I thank
My own familiar friend.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Charmaine. Joseph. You got it, Sister Eve?
Yes, sir.
All right, read.
Chapter 45.
Yeah, verse 1 and 3.
Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all of them that stood by him, and he cried, Cause every man to go out from me. And there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren. And Joseph said unto his brethren,
Now listen, they didn't know Joseph. They didn't know Joseph. But Joseph finally said, I'm your brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm the one that you sold into slavery. I'm the one that you hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't even know who he was.
See?
That's right, Pastor.
All right, read verse 3.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Doth my father yet live? And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled in his presence.
They were troubled in his. You ought to trouble people.
Yes, sir.
If they ain't living right, they ought to trouble you. You ought to trouble them. You mean to tell me that you're saved and you got a house full of family members? You invited them over for dinner and you just joined them? You don't even stop long enough to have the blessing? They start drinking and you say, all right, give me a shot of it too. Is that right?
That's right.
They used to have what they call tip. When I used to come here, ushers was on the back door. Most of the ushers that was at New Town was drunk.
Yeah, they had him a nip.
They had them a nip.
That's good.
But they also had a little bottle with tip in it.
Yeah.
Green.
Yes, sir.
Drunk as a skunk.
Pastor, on the door.
On the door.
Yes, sir.
But when you are changed, when your heart is changed, you have no need, you have no desire.
That's right, Pastor. Taste buds gone.
That's right. They still making it.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
You know it?
Chuck, God, you say it don't mean they gonna stop making liquor.
Uh-uh.
They ain't gonna close down the casino up there on Michigan.
Pastor, they back open.
Yeah. And quiet as it kept. Somebody right in here might have some numbers in that Bible. Yeah. I mean, church folk do some foolish things.
All right.
God is not in blessed mess,
Yeah.
but God will bless you.
You're blessed, Pastor.
Is that right?
That's right.
Listen what they said as we close. Joseph forgave his brothers. Joseph forgave his brothers. Verses 4 through 8. And we're closing.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near. And he said, I am Joseph your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt. Now therefore be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves, that ye sold me hither. For God did send me before you to preserve life.
Now watch this. God always have a reason and a purpose
Yes,
Right,
sir.
for
for doing whatever he's doing.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
See, you don't walk in the church and just say, I'm going to church. Something drives you here.
Yes, sir.
That's right, Pastor.
See, if you get hungry enough, you talking about, I don't eat no okra. You talking about, if you get hungry enough, you eat the stem the okra was grown on. Yeah. And I told you the other day that the sheep nibble away. Is that right? The corn rolled away. And the son walked away. But the woman lit a candle and looked for the corn.
That's right.
The man went looking for the sheep. But father didn't go looking for the son. He knew that father time
That's right. Walk them down.
Yes, sir.
was walking down and bringing back home. He left with sort of bad attitudes, but when he came back, he had his chest in.
Yeah.
He said, Father, give me what belongs to me. He didn't have nothing coming.
Lord have mercy.
Because in order for him to get it, that means that the father had to die, the son, the older son had to die, and then it would have been his.
That's right.
Sometimes you want some stuff before your time. So tonight, thank you though. So tonight, everybody ought to examine themselves. Examine yourself.
Yes, sir.
If you eat it and drink it, then what? You eat it and drink it, damnation to your own